Hey guys, really excited to be sharing this with you right now. This is a flower I handcrafted. Took me about a few hours to make this, but this flower is awesome. One of the main reasons why is it glows in the dark. I mean, how could that not be awesome? Not only does this thing glow, it actually lights up the pink areas. It glows so bright. It's a really awesome flower. I used Polymer Clay. It's a clay you bake in the oven. It never dries out. It stays soft until you're ready to bake it. And I made it over armature wire. And this is all colored clay. Nothing's painted. And I sanded it and shellacked it. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this. It's going to guide you right along so you can have one of these awesome things for yourself. Please don't forget to rate the video and maybe even share it. I know so many people would want to try this if they've seen it. Thank you so much, I'd appreciate it. Okay, to be able to make your flower, you're going to need some wire. This is galvanized wire. This is 14 gauge and this is 20 gauge. You're going to need a block of wood. This is to screw your flower down so you can create it and bake it in the oven. You're going to need some polymer clay. This is blush and the white is glow in the dark. This is what they call a Skinner blend. I have a video explaining how to make a Skinner blend, and I will include that in the link. This is a 50-50 mixture of Sculpting 3's moss and Primo's Spanish olive. And this is just bright green pearl, which will be the leaf. Before we get started, screwing this in here and getting the clay on, I want to get this leaf situated on this stalk armature. And what I did here for this, I want to show you real quick. It's just a wire folded in half, and I spun it a couple times right here with 2 needle nose pliers, and like once right here. This area right here is actually going to be the stem of the leaf that separates it from the stalk and of course the leaf. And it's just gonna get wrapped around using these 2 right here on the actual stem. But you can make this any way you want. This is just how I'm doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here like so. This will get kind of twisted around right here on the top. And this bottom part will get twisted around down here. I'm going to tighten these down right about here, to where it ain't sticking out. Okay, now that I tightened it down on the ends, it's not moving around anymore. So that's actually pretty good. Now I'm going to wrap this in this Spanish olive / moss. I'm going to cover all this area and the little stem part where the leaf is. Alright, this has been rolled out to setting 4 on the pasta machine, and I just freshly rolled this out so it's kind of more manageable. You don't want the clay to sit for a while and then try to wrap your stem with it. I'm going to cut me a clean edge right here. Oops, a straight clean edge would be better. Doesn't need to be very thick, so I'm going to cut this in half so I have a piece to do the top and the bottom. Begin to wrap it. Slowly turn it, and what you want to do is, you'll see where it's gonna like overlap. Go ahead and overlap it. Alright, that's cool. It actually came around to the overlap again. So I'm just gonna kind of finish pressing it on there. Get me another piece of clay ready. I'm going to try to start this the same way I did the bottom. You can bend your flower or your leaf out of the way if you can. Okay, this piece was a little bigger, so I gotta cut this excess off right here. Fix your edge here. Now where they come together, just kind of squeeze both of them together. That kind of evens it out. This is actually starting to look like a really good stem here. Now I'm just going to take a little more, and I'm going to wrap it around that part that comes off the flower, the stalk, the leaf. Using my thumbs a lot to just blend everything together. Don't press too hard anywhere, because you can wind up forcing the clay apart. I'm going to pull a little bit off the end here, because that's where my flower is going to go, and I don't want it to be already so thick right here. And I'm going to cut some off the bottom here, like that. This way I can put them in the wood and screw it down. Okay, the stalk is completely covered. We're ready to start working on the flower. And you might notice that this spins a little bit on there. I had that it happens to me. It doesn't matter, just it never really gave me problems. This is my third flower, by the way. Okay, I'm going to secure this by driving a screw down in the hole next to the galvanized wire. This right here will get cut even somewhere right here after it's all done, because the screw mess up the area a little bit right there. Okay, I'm using a round cutout tool. These usually come in like a set of 3, and this right here is the medium sized one. I'm just going to place it on there, and I have it hanging off the edge just a little bit to give the end a little bit of a different shape where the glow in the dark is going to be. But I'm just going to press down and cut out as many of these as I can. I do believe this right here is 8. Okay, so these are what I'm going to be using for the petals to the flower. And I'll show you how I'll put them on here. First I'm going to take some of this off. Now I'm going to wrap this piece of scrap clay on here. And if yours is going to be multicolor like mine, try to make sure that the tip, because this is the heart of your flower, is the same. It's going to be the same general color as the rest of the petals, to make it look a little better. And you're almost not going to see this first one at all, so you don't have to worry about how pretty your edges are going to be. And what I do here is I pinch the white end, because that's going to be the end of the petal. Just pinch it a little bit, kind of flatten it out. Not in this area so much. See how it's thicker there than it is here? Pinch this out. And then you're going to want to just wrap it around that piece you just put on. And you can touch the end of it a little bit to kind of give it a little flare. And then repeat the process. Squeeze you out another petal towards the end, right there. And then when you put this one on, you want to kind of like overlap a little bit the last one you put on. See, here's where they come together. So you want to go around that a little bit, like this. Pull back on the top, right here. Make sure it's connected real well where it's thick. But you don't have to get so crazy with the part over here that starts getting thinner. When working these pieces on, try to work in a circular pattern, and when you press them on, at first be real gentle. Don't press too hard, because if it doesn't look right and it sticks to it, it could be a mess trying to get it apart, and there's a chance you can damage each petal. So just take your time and work in the circle. Okay, once you're done, you want to inspect your flower like from different angles. See if you got it bent, like the petals bent just right. Keep in mind that the longer this sits, the more the clay loses its condition, so when you go to bending these, they'll break. So you want to kind of do all this in one little sitting where you make everything look right. Okay, the next step, we're going to be putting this leaf on. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually cut both of these at one time to make it easier on me. I'm basically just trying to shape a leaf here. Okay, once that's cut, open them back up. I'm going to, starting with the back side, I'm going to push this metal part like down into this. Like so. And then I'm going to come back with my top piece and pinch all the way around it a little bit. Okay, I rolled out a little more of that clay I had mixed up. This is setting 2, which is a little thinner. And I'm going to take this little snake right here and I'm going to wrap it around the bottom of this flower. All that's for is to kind of bulk it out down there a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is I want to cut a few pieces, kind of like big triangles. I just did the first one, but it was a bad camera angle. So here we go once again. Just cut you a little triangle shaped piece or whatever, and situate it on there like this. And you can peel back the area a little bit at the end and then work it to the stalk like this. These leaves actually are from the bulb that the flower blooms from. They should be put on and staggered in the same fashion as you did with the petals. Now, I realize my flower here is at a weird angle because that's how I had it when I first. I don't really like trying to move it like that. Straighten that thing back up because I want to get a good look at it now, because this is how I'm going to make it, you know, the final positions and stuff. Like right now is a good time to adjust your leaf. Now with the leaf, we're going to do one more little thing before we're done here. We're going to take a sharp tool. I'm going to like lightly support it behind. I'm going to draw a line down the center. I'm just going to make like little markings. And then on the other side, at the proper corresponding angle, make some matching lines. Now I'm going to take this little snake that I just rolled out. It's really like skinny, tapered at one end. And I'm going to set it right here. Pretty much in the center of all that I just did. Take a blunt tool and press that stem, because that's what it is. It's the stem to the center of the leaf. I'm going to attach it to this actual stem on the flower. Give a little pressing. And so it doesn't look too quirky, we're going to put one on the bottom to match the one on the top. Well, there you have it. I made a flower. I'm going to bake this in the oven and see how it turns out. I'll be putting this in there for about 15 minutes.